Each year, thousands of scientific research papers are released globally, and a large portion of them focus on psychology. While diving into these studies may be challenging for the average person, applying their insights to everyday life is surprisingly simple. That's why in today's video, we're going to explore 12 psychological facts that can truly shift your perspective. What hurts the most? Let me ask you a question. Answer honestly. What hurts you the most? Whenever we think about pain, physical pain is usually the first thing that pops into our minds. But in psychological terms, pain is divided into two types: physical pain, which results from injury, and social pain, which stems from rejection, isolation, or humiliation. Amazingly, the brain responds to rejection the same way it does to physical injuries. Breakup, rejection, sexual pain. Telling someone to move on may sound simple, but to the brain, rejection sets off an emergency alarm. After all, our minds are built to connect, not to be ignored. Cognitive dissonance. Have you ever sensed deep down that what you're defending might not be right, but you continue to support it anyway? That's a mental trap known as cognitive dissonance. It occurs when two conflicting beliefs exist in your mind. For instance, staying loyal to a leader or ideology, even when you're faced with clear evidence against them. Your reasoning says, it's time to walk away, but your emotions push back. How can I accept that I've spent so much energy and time on this? It's similar to a toxic relationship. You begin doubting yourself, assuming you're to blame. Cognitive dissonance locks down your thinking. The more you try to prove you're right, the deeper you sink into the trap. That's why being brutally honest with yourself is essential. Illusion of control. When you play Ludo, you might throw the dice harder to get a 6, and more gently when you need a 1. Believing your throw can influence the result. That's the illusion of control. It's a bias where you believe you're in control of a situation that's actually governed by randomness or probability. We often fall for this in daily life, like picking our own lottery ticket and feeling more hopeful about winning. Although it boosts confidence, the result still boils down to chance. Anchoring bias. Ever noticed how a $2,000 watch doesn't seem pricey next to a $10,000 one? That's the anchoring effect, a subtle psychological trick brands use. Your brain locks on to the first number it sees, the anchor, and everything afterward is measured against it. Whether it's negotiating a salary, shopping, or even setting standards in relationships, your first reference point becomes your mental benchmark. Effective primacy hypothesis. Think for a moment, which comes first, a thought or a feeling? Let us know your answer in the comments. Now picture this. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly felt uneasy without any clear reason? Or jumped at a loud sound that turned out to be just a book falling? In both situations, your emotion kicked in before your thoughts could catch up. This is the effective primacy hypothesis, discovered by psychologist Robert Zayonk in the 1980s. It explains that our emotions often react faster than our brain can logically process information. That's because emotions are quick, unconscious, and automatic. And as humans, we're wired with them. Mirror neurons. Ever notice that when someone around you yawns, you start yawning too? Or that you smile when someone else laughs? Or feel tearful when someone cries? That's not a coincidence. It's the result of mirror neurons. Your brain doesn't just observe, it empathizes and mirrors what it sees, often without conscious intent. It's like how pets sometimes begin to imitate their owner's behaviors. Fundamental attribution error. Let's talk about a psychological error we all make. Fundamental attribution error. It's when we judge someone else's behavior as a sign of who they are, but explain our own behavior based on circumstances. For instance, if someone cuts you off in traffic, you think, what a jerk. But if you do it yourself, it's, I was just in a hurry. We assess others based on appearances, but give ourselves the benefit of context. Research shows 65% of people blame others' personalities for misfortunes, while only 44% hold themselves accountable in similar scenarios. This is the classic play of fundamental attribution error. Triangulation. Triangulation, just like it sounds, involves dragging a third person into a conflict between two. Have you ever noticed someone avoids talking to you directly, but communicates through another person? Or spreads gossip to cause tension between you and someone else? This is a manipulation tactic aimed at gaining control, whether in relationships, friendships, or families. Think of a partner who pulls a friend into a fight to corner you, or a coworker who spreads rumors via someone else. Triangulation is a behind-the-scenes power move designed to create confusion and division. But if you stay aware, communicate clearly, and stay direct, no one can manipulate you. Real relationships thrive on straightforward communication, not on interference from third parties. Dunbar's number anthropologist Robin Dunbar discovered that the human brain can only manage about 150 meaningful relationships. Why? Because forming genuine connections takes emotional energy, time, and effort. Even within those 150 people, there are levels of closeness, dividing them into smaller emotional circles. Dogs reveal owners' personality. Did you know people who own aggressive dog breeds like Rottweilers or Pit Bulls often show higher levels of anger, aggression, and hostility? You might think, do we pick dogs that mirror us? Well, it's not always that straightforward. Other factors play a role, such as social isolation or chronic stress. People dealing with these pressures often become more defensive and naturally gravitate toward dogs that offer protection and a strong presence. Reminiscence bump. While we can easily recall recent events, can you remember what exactly you were doing on this day last year? Probably not. But thanks to the reminiscence bump, we clearly remember experiences from our teenage and early adult years, between ages 10 to 30. That's the stage where we shape our identity, through friendships, heartbreaks, first jobs, and personal struggles. These moments embed deeply in our memory, like our first day in college or school. Daydreamers are more creative. We've all been told at some point, stop daydreaming. But believe it or not, daydreaming isn't a waste of time. It's actually a creative gift. Psychologist Jerome L. Singer, in his book Daydreaming and Fantasy, explained how daydreamers activate a part of the brain called the default mode network, DMN. This region handles imagination, introspection, and creativity. While most people deactivate this network when focusing on tasks, creative individuals keep it running, connecting ideas even while working. Daydreamers aren't lazy. They're building whole worlds in their minds, just like J.K. Rowling, who came up with the idea for Harry Potter while sitting at a train station, lost in thought. So next time you find yourself daydreaming, don't hold back. That wandering idea could become your next big breakthrough. Daydreaming equals high intelligence plus creativity. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an eye-opening insight again. Thanks for watching.